welcome to today's lesson. Today's lesson is about articles, and I know some of my students have a lot of trouble with some specific articles. Today we're just taking a look at a, an, or the zero or no article. So we're just going to look at these today. In our next video we'll take a look at the specific article. So taking a look at these. So a and an are for non-specific. Non-specific count nouns. Now what does that mean? So let's take a look. First, number one, we're going to use a before any noun or adjective-noun combination that begins with a consonant. And what is a consonant? Those are these letters, B, T, N, these letters that have a hard sound. Those are consonants. So let's take a look at an example. I'm going to change my color here. A cat. C is a consonant. It's an animal, a noun, and it's a countable noun. And we'd say a black cat. In this case, B is a consonant, and then here you have the adjective-noun combination. And it's a countable adjective-noun combination. So that's when we use a. Now let's take a look at an. So now we're going to take a look at an. An is before any noun or adjective-noun combination that begins with a vowel. Now, what's a vowel? A vowel is one of these letters, A, E, I, O, U, and on the side here I'm going to write H, sometimes with an H. So let's take a look at that. An octopus. Here you say we have an O, and so we have an octopus. Let's look at the adjective combination. An awesome octopus. So here we have A, and we have that combination. So that's the reason why we use and an. And then now let's take a look at the letter H. That's kind of our third category here is that letter H. So H sometimes has a sound, sometimes doesn't. So sometimes it sounds and sometimes it doesn't have a sound. So when it does have a sound, then we use a. Let me give you an example. Hat, you can hear that. Hat, it has that h sound. Or an hour. You see the H doesn't have a sound here. The OU has a sound, an hour. So we say a hat, but an hour. So when H doesn't have a sound, we use N, and when it does have a sound, we use A. So these are the reasons why we use a, an, or with the reasons why we use a or an, and looking at the letter H. Now we're going to take a look at when we don't use an article. So when we don't use an article, no articles. So the first reason we don't use an article is when we talk about a category or a group. In general situations, a category or a group. Let me give you an example. Cats are intelligent animals. So here, before cats, we do not use article. We say cats are intelligent animals. This is general. Now let me give you a specific. The cat at my house isn't very intelligent. In this case, we're specific. And I use the article the. So that's the first reason. The second reason, let's take a look here. Reason number 2, when we use no article, is before abstract nouns. Or ideas. Like feelings. Let me give you a couple examples here. The first example I'm going to give you is her career depends on education. So notice here I don't use an article. Let me give you another example. The trust is the key to a good relationship. In this case, no, that is incorrect. Trust is an abstract noun. So correct is trust is the key to a good relationship. Let's take a look at another mistake that people commonly make. I don't trust the politicians. No, this is incorrect because we're talking about a group in general. So I don't trust politicians without the. So here, again, we don't use an article. Let's take a look at one more example. The education is important for young people. the education is important for young people. No, in this case, again, education is an abstract idea or noun, and so we do not use the. We just say education is important for young people. So just a couple quick tips before we leave today. For those of you who are having problems, whenever you learn a new noun or adjective, when you write it and say it to yourself, make sure you put an article with it. So don't just write the noun or the adjective, write the article with it. Let me give you an example. For example, if today you learned the new adjective whimsical, rather than just writing whimsical in your notebook, write a whimsical fairy. So make sure to include a with it. Or if today, while reading about politicians, you learned the word scandal, don't just write scandal, write a scandal. So include the article with it while you're learning new adjectives and nouns. Just learn to write down the article so that you learn that you always need to say it and you always need to write the article. Another just quick tip when you're writing or speaking is when you introduce a noun, use a or an. After, use the. This is just kind of a quick tip. So let me give you an example. I say, I have a cat and a dog. So I've just introduced a cat and a dog. So now my second time that I mention these, the cat hates the dog, but the dog loves the cat. So you can see every time after the first, this is the first time I mention them, I use a, and then every time I mention them after the first time, I use the. The cat hates the dog, but the dog loves the cat. So you can see I have the in here many times, and it might sound silly to people that don't have articles in their language, but this is correct. The cat hates the dog, but the dog loves the cat. So look forward to our next lesson, which will be more specifically about the in the article world, and we'll look more specifically at when to use it, because that is the more complicated of the 3 articles that we use in English. Thanks and hope that you learned something in today's lesson. Look forward to next week.